Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of Skinterviews. Today, we are diving deep into the CS2 skin market with none other than Brongo, the creator of CSROI. This series aims to bring you exclusive insights from key players in the CS2 skins community, exploring market trends, investment strategies, and the stories behind the tools and collections that shape the market. Hey Brongo, can you start by introducing yourself and tell us a bit about your background?
G'day, Skinomics. My name's Brongo, like you said. I've been in the Counter-Strike scene since about 2015. I still remember watching a bit of Cato at 2015 as a bit of a young kid. Missed out on the legendary Cato 2014 sticker run, but I would have been too poor to buy into that anyway. Either way, I've been a long time enjoying the game, a bit on and off, and eventually led me to create a website called CSROI because I just wanted to, one, learn for myself how good or bad cases can be to open if there's any little hidden gems, and two, just to help the community know exactly how much they're losing on the average, because it doesn't seem like you should ever be opening a case.
Thanks, Brongo. For our viewers that are unfamiliar with CSROI, can you give us a bit of an overview about the website and how it operates?
Yeah, sure. So if, essentially it comes down to two main stats. There's on what I've tried to keep across every openable in the game. So you've got your cases, your stickers, your autographs, souvenirs, so on and so on. I've tried to provide a value on all of those. The two ones, like I said, is the unboxing ROI and profit chance. So your unboxing ROI essentially emulates if you were to unbox an infinite amount. So, as close as you can get, say 1 million of the case, how much of your money back would you receive on average? So, an 85% unboxing ROI on the gallery case right now represents 85% of your money back, provided you get every single roll. Obviously, if you end up being luckier than the odds, that can go much higher. If you be unluckier than the odds, it can go much lower. Then you've got something like the profit percent, which is just trying to tell you that, okay, there's a 10% chance on any individual unbox for that one to be a profit. So it helps filter out cases like the Dreams and Nightmares case where all the value is held in the knives. And it's something you really shouldn't open unless you're really trying to get those knives and you're willing to open, say, 100 cases for the 1% profit chance.
That makes sense, Brongo. I think long-term viewers on my channel may have already come across your website and have realized that opening cases can be largely unprofitable. You should only do it with money you are okay with losing. Shifting gears here a little, I want to ask you some of the short and long-term investment opportunities you may have come across, and perhaps my audiences can take advantage of.
In a short term mindset, I think the two next cases to be removed from the active drop pool offer a pretty good short term investment opportunity, as in February is roughly 1 year since the kilowatt case was added, and normally around the 1 year mark, a new case enters or leaves the drop pool. So you've got the fracture and the recoil cases, your two options here, where the fracture is much older, but the recoil is much less demanded. So depending on Valve's choice in what they want to remove based on age or demand, those are your two options. If I were to do this, I would instantly sell as soon as I would see a pump from their removal, as there's often a correction within 1 to 2 weeks as people forget about the case being removed. Another short-term option could be something like the AK-47 Slate. It's a very safe play skin that's been removed not too long ago, so its supply keeps on dwindling and dwindling. The case keeps on going up and up, increasing the cost to unbox. It's quite a safe option. And the other safe short-term could be something like the Prisma or Prisma 2 case that have been seeing nice healthy demand increase over time and have chroma-like case characteristics where their knives are very highly valued, and there's some decent skins throughout. For a lot more of a longer term option, I would recommend going for some borderless stickers. While this might sound a bit counterintuitive, I think the Shanghai major being very low demanded leads a good opportunity for Valve to move on to some border stickers, and I think there will be a major pump when they finally do. Stuff like the Paris stickers are at what I would consider an all-time low, and I can't consider them going too much lower when they're already so far below the printing price. So you choose some unique options from Stockholm, Antwerp, and Paris. You could always look at Copenhagen and Shanghai if you like as well, because they don't have quite as much supply. Anything like that, especially more unique in their set, should have a very good value jump the second that a new tournament is released with border stickers, as the community realizes the opportunity borderless stickers now have.
Well, folks, you heard it here first. Borderless stickers might be an opportunity. Although I do want to iterate that everything here is speculation. Please invest at your own risk. Moving on a little, I want to ask you, Brongo, where do you think the CS2 economy and skins market is heading, given the recent developments in gambling websites? And can you give us sort of a wider overview per se?
Yeah, so in terms of gambling, it's always been something looming over Counter-Strike all these years. Being a loot box based system is simply always going to draw some eyeballs, and some would definitely argue that you shouldn't have these loot boxes available to people underage, and I can see the argument for that. Outside of legal intervention from governments, I don't see Valve changing the system, however. In terms of gambling outside of like Valve's economy, so I suppose it's within Valve's economy, third-party gambling sites and case sites and that, I don't believe there's a way these systems can be shut down while real-world trading is enabled, because it simply runs off peer-to-peer systems, which Valve already tries to ban users that abuse these peer-to-peer systems for gambling sites and provide their liquidity, and they operate outside of jurisdictions where you can go and sue them. So they're always going to be sort of a parasite on the system, for better or for worse. Obviously, they provide their own value in terms of economics in the scale of it all, but it is what it is at the end of the day, and I don't think there's much that can happen outside of government intervention, which I don't believe would happen. You still have other games like FIFA that will go and use these same sort of loot box systems and that, and they don't seem to get too much eyeballs in the exact same way, because they don't. I'm not too sure about that system, but it seems like they don't quite have the same real world trading, but I could be entirely wrong on that. It's not something I've looked into. Long term Counter-Strike outside of that, however, it seems like Valve's trying some new things with this Armory Pass, providing value to users for playing the game, which is very, very healthy. I'm glad they removed the opportunity to buy these items at whatever cost you would like, and not having to earn it like previous operations. That's very healthy for the economy. I hope they don't hold on to the same item sets for a very long time. I think that will hurt it and hurt the player numbers if that's a statistic that they really want to hold on to. Because if the Armory Pass doesn't become as profitable in the future from just being in the game so long, some people won't play the game, as sad as it is. I've even heard of someone in a third world country who owns a gaming cafe and lets their players play for free while grinding the Armory Pass, so they can get a little bit of value out and help their local community.
Thanks, Brongo. Well, touching on, you mentioned FIFA, I do want to mention a couple other games. So, Deadlock, which is a game that Valve has released, has taken away some of the development attention away from Counter-Strike, which is the rumors that we have been getting. Additionally, sort of Valorant is getting a lot of eyeballs as well. Do you think in the long term they will have a major impact to the Counter-Strike economy? Perhaps more players will migrate to those games and will be left with less demand in our skin economy?
In terms of the developers, Valve's a pretty open desk scenario as far as I understand. Someone can go and move between whatever game they have the most interest on, which has its downsides and its upsides. It means whoever's working on a game really does care for that game. They're not just going to work on it because they're forced to, which I think leaves a net quality increase, but obviously the time between updates goes dramatically up if they don't have that sort of developer base that's really interested in the game. I don't think Deadlock would be taking away too much demand from Counter-Strike. It seems like they're pretty happy and healthy in developing their game. It doesn't quite have the player base that it used to, but they're still working on improving that game over time and having it ready for a full public release. They're not rushing it along. That seems to be Valve's motto, is never rush a project along, get it done right. So I think in that sense, Counter-Strike will be fine. It might be less quantity of updates, but the quality should remain very high still. After that, you touched on Valorant. Uh, Funny enough, I really enjoyed Valorant during the first season. I played that with some mates. But what I personally found, and I'm hearing the sentiment online, and what I see from these clips, is that with the overloading of characters over time, you just end up with a screen full of different abilities that you're constantly trying to adapt to. And while that is a fun gameplay loop for a lot of people, they enjoy this ever-changing game. I think that really separates it from Counter-Strike. If you're playing Counter-Strike, you're enjoying the raw gunplay that you're going to win a fight because you outsmarted someone or you out-aimed someone. In Valorant, I don't think that's the case, and I don't see that dramatically affecting Counter-Strike's player base as it hasn't been for a long time, I don't believe anymore. When it released, it definitely did, but since now it's been its own thing. If anything, I believe they coexist and help each other out, because one Valorant player might find they love the gunplay aspect a lot, try out Counter Strike, and then move on to a Counter Strike player. And someone who plays Counter Strike and thinks, oh, I really want to be able to deal with grenades and stuff like that more. I love outsmarting the other players in the game. They might find Valorant's their better game. It just ends up being a bit of to and fro. Either way, it brings more players in. I think a lot of people who play League of Legends all the time are a lot more likely to jump to Valorant than straight to Counter-Strike, but that leads to a gateway between the genre at the very least.
Fair enough. I don't know if you have heard, but Fortnite actually just released a 5v5 game mode that is very similar to Counter Strike. Um, Sort of these more and more of these competitors are popping up. What sort of impact do you think it will have on the skin market in particular? Just because, sort of, I think that's what my audiences care about the most.
Yeah. Yeah, so in the skin market, Fortnite operates in a very different way. They don't have their trading, they just have like a rotating store similar to Valorant, if I understand right. So you buy something when it's around, if you want it, and it's stuck on your account. While I don't have any qualms with that system, that means there's no way to get your money back outside of selling your account, which is a very scary system and not one most people are going to go through. So in terms of actual skin uh, value, there could be a small demand hitch if players are moving over to this Fortnite Ballistics. But what I'm hearing more so about this game is that it seems to be a bit more of a gateway from Fortnite community to this style of game, and more casual gamers to this style of game to try Fortnite Ballistics. And then you never know if they might come to the Counter-Strike world. I don't really hear too many scenarios of Counter-Strike players, one, because their money is invested in the game if they have skins, and two, because they enjoy Counter Strike's gameplay, moving over to Fortnite Ballistics as their sole one. So I don't think it's going to have a negative effect on the skin economy. I see a very similar thing with Valorant, where it just brings more people to this style of game, and if anything, opens a gateway for them to join the Counter Strike world.
Perfect. So it might be a positive change after all. I
Mm.
think, lastly, I do want to sort of walk through your website and give yourself a bit of time for you to showcase your website and maybe tease some upcoming features as well.
So yeah, CSROI provides the unboxing returns of anything you would like to open, so you can find some little hidden gems that will provide you good value. There's a little simulate tool, so you can find and test the ones that you think you might want to open. Give it a try before you buy. You have a history graph to see if it's very volatile at all, if the prices are moving around a lot, if you really want to keep your money into that. You can always just check a investing ROI as well to see if over whatever time period you like, 1 month, 6 months, or 1 year, if the value has been increasing or decreasing. So that gives you a good opportunity to learn if it's something you want to hold your money into for a long term or a short term. You've got the Armory section, which will tell you with each reward possible what the return is, so you can easily find the reward you would like to go for. Up until recently, the Deagle Heat Treated was a very popular reward for players, but the website showed that it was a very bad return on investment outside of including your blue gems, which makes the equation a lot more difficult. Then you have a inventory tool. So once you've done your unboxing or your Armory rewards, you can go and select what you've unboxed, and that will just give you some quick statistics on what your ROI was, the value of your items, stuff like that, and investing value over time if you were to do so. And then finally, there's a deals page. So if you want to get some money on Steam, say you want to get 125 Australian dollars for your 5 Armory passes, you can click there, choose your favorite marketplace. Mine personally would be CS Float, and then you can find items on there that you can buy using your real world money and resell on Steam to receive up to 1.5 times your money on Steam.
No problems. Thanks, Brongo. Well, that was all the questions I had for today. I hope my audiences have enjoyed this short and sweet interview with Brongo. And feel free to leave any sort of questions in the comment section. Brongo and I will both aim to sort of reply to those as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
And yeah, happy investing. On
Thanks
that
for
bomb,
having me.
no problems. On that bombshell, thank you very, very much for listening and see you in the next one. Bye.